Hello there, mate. What are you working on? I'm just working on a new fight suit, and also I made a few improvements of my new sword. Oh wow, nice. Let me guess, you took a few ideas from Vigo. And also let me guess, you are going to jump out of my back again, aren't you? Yep.
So, hello guys, welcome back to Dragon Ball 2.0, and today we are going to be doing a final review on Dragon's West to Edge Season 6, and this is a season finale, guys. Yep, this is the season finale, guys. Guys know, so Season 6, up we go. What? So, as always, I'm joined here with Tutus, aka my pushy up Tutus. But anyways, let's go on into the review then, shall we? So, as per usual, we got about 13 episodes. And the first up, we'll be starting at episode 1. So we all know how season 5 ends. In a cliffhanger that Trader Horohan has betrayed us. And here, this episode is started a revealing of Trader Johan finally betrays the Dragon Riders, and then as for Dagger himself, he has to come and face his fears, so that he can get the Dragon Eye Jens from the bully, so that he can put the Dragon Jenses into Dragonite 2, which is also Hiccup also invented another Dragon Eye. I know why. Crazy, wasn't it? What are the chances that the Dragonautas would just take the second one as well? But anyways, this episode is like a pretty good start, because the ending is actually quite interesting. Because basically the plot point is like we go to get the Kingdom Dragons or something, and then suddenly in the next episode they almost totally forgotten about it. And that is just minor complaint, but anyways, now for the second episode. So, episode 2. Basically, this one is like a father and son relationship story here. Basically, Berg has been attacked by Krogan and the Dragon Hunters, and Hiccup trying to like convince his father, and basically they both end up in a fight, and then suddenly they learn how to forgive each other at the end. And whilst in the middle of that, Dragon Hunters did actually take over Berk. and then the rest of the riders and also the citizens of Berk did manage to escape, and then Hiccup and Tutus, Stowe and Coal Crusher finally got back there, and then finally got rid of the Dragon Hunters, for now at least. And that is it for second episode, but I kind of like this episode, really, because basically it's just like almost like a full shadowing, because basically this is just like another good moment before Stowe dies in the second movie, but you never know. Right. Third episode. So basically the third episode is about one of the remainders, actually. It's not Sonat, actually. Yeah, Sonat, it is like almost like a secondary character, but then it's more focused on one of the remainder members, though, interesting enough. And basically one of the remainders tried to do this all by herself, but Atayo tells her just to try to what's the word? Try to follow her in her footsteps and stuff, and obviously at the end, though, she finally learned how to be like a good leader and stuff. Though. Starlight wasn't like there, but I think he's some sort of like some sort of role model, which is sort of out of his character, no, because Starlight usually never listens to orders sometimes, but for him instant, pairing these two up, it is kind of actually interesting, no. So I would say this is actually kind of a good episode. So yeah, episode 4. So this episode, it just basically we got introduced to a new dragon called Dominion, or Dominion, how you would pronounce it, but anyways, this one is about a fish egg story though, and we actually find out that his family line, his surname, so then he was related to the dragon hunter also called Mingerman, and yeah, basically he find that out when one of those dragon hunters was wearing the same helmet, and also there was a statue of him or something like that, probably just followers of him, maybe, but again, not too sure, but they hunted Dungeon Man. So yeah, and as for this episode alone, I would say it's interesting for like more lore on Fish X family, no? So yeah, that's a good part for me. But as for this episode, no, wait, no, really. It doesn't drive you back into the plot of the of this season. No, season. No, I don't know. It kind of like, to me, watching it's kind of like filler. But again, that is just my opinion. So yeah. But anyways, episode 5. So, episode 5. And another kind of filler, well, not really kind of a filler. I mean, Grubnut is back. Like for some weird reason, but anyways. The twins are just turning 19, and they want to celebrate for like this annual Boston's tonal games or something. Like some sort of game challenge. It's like Olympics, some sort of style. Yeah. Again with this episode, well, we got introduced to the episode at this point. But Grubnut basically got tripped by Grubnut, and basically try to compete with each other, and then at the end of the games, they finally both won. No, but anyways, at the end of the episode, they finally figure out they got being tricked, also by Grubnut. So yeah, and that's it. That's it basically. And I think Grubnut did get captured by Dragon Hunters at the end. At the end of that episode, no. Episode 6. So this is a Hiccup and Astrid episode. And yeah, we gotta have one of these in every single season. It's like a broken record at this point, but anyways, Hiccup and Astrid now became official boyfriend and girlfriend in season 4, and basically in this episode, Astrid is basically questioning with her relationship with Hiccup throughout the entire episode, and basically she was wearing like a necklace and trying to get him to notice, but then Hiccup is only just so like a dragonite ends on the armor wing, and trying to get her off it, removed it from his body, but yeah, and like almost throughout the entire episode. But what do I think about this episode? I would say at the end of the episode, Astrid did forgive Hiccup, no, and stuff like that, but as for a relationship wise, I would say it's fine. It's fine of a good of an episode though, so yeah. Episode 7. This one is an interesting one. Episode 7. So, basically, basically the writers were invited by the Rain Maidens, and basically what the Rain Maidens do whenever the baby Razorwhips are born. Basically, every time like a Razorwhip finally grows older and then regain their eyesight, they can just let them go. But then when the new Razorwhips are born now, they Razorwhips babies had to choose which women women they can go to, and then one of them is basically Tubnut. Basically So basically, throughout the entire episode, Buttnut is trying to learn to be a Rain-Maiden, but as for her brother, he certainly knows how to do things, and Tubnut did he make that at the end? At the end, though. And then at the end of the episode, where all the dragon hunters just turned up, and basically Buttnut and with the help of her baby Razorwhip named Wingnut. Wingnut is crazy his name, but anyways, she finally learned how to be a Rain Maiden at the end, and basically, unfortunately for Wingnut, he has to stay with the main maidens. No, unfortunately. So basically, Wingnut did not came with them because, well, I think I know for one reason, because How to Train Your Dragon 2 does not mention Wingnut or anything though, and also plus, if you're just watching How to Train Your Dragon 2 and you don't know the full lore, and you just seen Buttnut flying on her own, and then suddenly you see the baby Razorwhip on her back. Maybe not as wide, but they did give us a real in-universe reasons. So yeah. Episode 8. Now, this episode I actually quite like, because this one is Vigo's redemption arc in this episode, and I think it's done really well, because for one thing, he finally understands that killing dragons is one, and basically he's also been betrayed by Trader Dohan and Quirrell, and he also trained the Squirrel as well, and he also got Hiccup into it, and basically did sort of play a trick on him, but don't. And basically Vigo actually went ahead and sacrificed himself so that Hiccup and Tootles can escape. And basically that's how Vigo and Hiccup's relationship finally ended. And as for Vigo, yeah, last time I checked, he's definitely dead. I don't think he'd come back tonight, but anyways, as for Vigo as a character, I think I will explain more at the video is ended. So, but anyways, let's move on to the next episode. Episode 9. So, basically, the writers actually learned that Gobbs, last time I checked, it was like his adopted father or something. Something like that, what the wiki said, but anyways, the writers have finally learned that they're keeping Gobbs' adopted father on this island, and basically the Sin Tales writers are basically using the Dead Zone Amber out of the Dead Zone for basically for like Sin Tales and stuff, and basically as for Fish Eggs, he is figuring out how Sin Tales actually are, and basically all of this came in together and to won the big final big battle at the end, and that is it. And also there is a sub point that is right in the book throughout the entire episode. And yeah, that is actually quite funny though. Yeah. In the Life of Snowdown, Chapter 102. Dragon Boy 2.0 is making a review on. Yeah. You don't know. But anyways. Episode 10. Episode 10. So basically, Hiccup just heard the news that Stogie actually got attacked and been sick, and so he rushed off. So him and the riders rushed off back to Burke and check up on him, and he was not doing really good, and apparently he needs to rest, and basically in this episode, Hiccup was like being in a little bit of guilt and grief in this episode, and this is actually kind of like a what if episode. Yeah, I actually kind of like that concept actually. What if they don't go to make a What if they never discover the Dragon Eye and go to Dragon's Edge? And what if Hiccup never shot down Tutus? Well, Disney episode finally done that for you before What If. So yeah. And yeah. I also kind of like episode 10 as well. This is considered one of my favorites. So yeah. Episode 11. This is a final turn point. Episode 11. Heather and Winchell finally got back to Burke, and basically they told the Riders that Valheim Island is gonna attack, and basically I think it was throughout and the episode basically the writers did finally finally got with it, the dragon hunters, and they are also seeking shelter. And the defenders of Wing Island, I think at the end of the episode. But again, trying to remember. Now, King of Dragons Part 1 and 2. Let's discuss this at 4. Then, shall we? So now we in the final two-parter. Let's discuss this then, shall we? So basically, in the first part, basically Hiccup has like a choice to like either listen to the elders, or should he go and stop the dragon hunters to get in the King of Dragons? So he went in ahead and do the first auction, but all of the riders are agreed with that. So yeah, and they figure out it wasn't a Geminian. It was a other dragon fin, because that's usually goes into part 2. Now the basically hunters and the riders figure out that the King of Dragons was a wildebeest on Berserker Island, and basically riders, the half of the riders went ahead and also the berserkers went ahead and defeated the dragon hunters with the wildebeest claws on every single dragon, like some sort of Avengers Endgames sort of end. And then you know what I meant. And almost all of the dragon species were there, like almost every single one. And meanwhile, Hiccup and Tutus will go to get the egg, and basically the wildebeest actually saves Hiccup at the end by Trader Rohan getting ice alive or something, turning into ice alive or something, and I think Trader Rohan is definitely dead. and then she somehow come back to life. But again, Quillen did run away with the egg, but Tudis did finally get him. No? And finally got the egg back. And basically everything goes to the quills. All the warriors have met. And basically at the end they try to figure out what to do with the egg. But then thought, where is Quillen? Well, basically in the few episodes before, or maybe mentioned in season 5, that he is working for someone. Well, who is that someone? Well, it's none other than Drago Buffers. Yeah, he was working for Drago Buffers the whole time. And basically what happened to Quillen? Well, he's been executed by him. Okay, well, unfortunately we do not get to see it happen, but it was a signal by him. No, but he will give you a clue that the second movie is going to have another wildebeest. But again, that'll be my question for How to Train Your Dragon 2, the animated version review coming out soon. But at the end though, so the Wilders has to go back home. No, and at the end. And as for the wildebeest egg itself, the wing maidens know Volker. Yeah, Hiccu's mother. Hiccu's mother is been there only for like quick 2 seconds or 3 seconds. And as for Stoic himself, he got better, but also he does give you a clue that soon enough, Hiccup did say in the episode in the end of the episode itself, soon enough he will pass the power onto me, like sort of really soon. Well, that gives you a clue about the second movie. And at the end, and that's it. That's the end. Yep. This story is done. Or is it? Anyways. Now then, let's get into the characters. Now, all of the original voice actors, probably not all the original, but anyways, some of the original voice actors from the anime movies did come back, and they did actually pretty good, actually really well in Race to Edge. Really good. All the characters are still the same, but adding more growth, and they actually managed to pull up more good stories as well, more in depth, and more lore was added into it. We got like Means of Irons now. It's just instead of just focusing on Burke and probably more other irons like the Arcans or the Berserker tribe or something. But no, this world is actually expanding a lot now. Since How to Train Your Dragon 2 come out, and now the whole world is now expanding now. We got like Race to Edge, Melody Island, and Dragon Hunter Island, the Ocean Island. Basically almost like it's almost like a whole completed world of a map. And I actually quite like the design of Waste to Edge. The edge itself is really good. We got like, also we got more depth on Hiccup as a character, and basically we see him grow up as like a more confident leader, and basically he also has finally got more allies at his side as well. We got like the Archives, the Berserkers, Defenders of the Wind, and the Main Maidens he finally fends off. And for and now he knows. Now we, us as the audience, now kind of respect him now. Whilst we were watching, the second movie, now we able to accept him as our chief. As set him when he becomes chief in the second movie, and I think, and now Waste to Edge also answers so many questions from the second movie. How did Hiccup and Astrid finally become boyfriend and girlfriend? Well, Waste to Edge has got that answer in season 4. And then how did Fish Eggs and Stardust started trying to get Top Nut to be boyfriend and girlfriend? Well, Waste to Edge got that answer too. And So, as for all said and done, Dragon's Waste to Edge as a whole is a perfect show. It's got good storytelling. The animation can somewhat improve, is somewhat improved, but not as best as the movies. But it is also the best thing ever. Best things ever as the story, the animation, and the writing is actually pretty good for all things considered. But I got one thing else to say. This section for How to Train Your Dragon is basically How to Train Your Dragon 1 through to How to Train Your Dragon 2 is what I called a Jargle Dragon Hunter saga or era. And basically, I gotta say this. Hiccup has won the battle, but not the war. The war finally ended in How to Train Your Dragon 2. That will be discussed next year. Though. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys soon. This is Drunk Boy 2.0 signing out.